People often say, love enough, and you will keep each other. But I loved you with all my heart, and still lost you. People fear endings. As for me, I fear beautiful memories. Because when I recall them, I still want to love you once more, even though I know I was just the one who came later in this love triangle. You are not at fault. Neither am I. It's just that we came at the wrong time, or maybe at that time you were looking at someone else while I was only looking at you. Today, you and I, let's walk together a path I traveled with my heart and returned with pain. A heart no longer whole. Memories. I remember the first time we met, in a quiet cafe on a rainy afternoon. I ordered a hot cocoa while you only drank water. You smiled, your eyes curved, and I was momentarily stunned before I could say the first word. Since that day, we met more often. No one named what this relationship was, but I felt warmth in my heart every time you brushed my hair, every time you gently placed your hand on my shoulder in a crowded movie theater, or simply when you reached out to hold my hand across the street. You never said, I love you, but your eyes seemed to pour honey into my heart every time you whispered, I like people like you, who know how to listen, who are gentle. I held on to those words through long nights, smiling at the glowing phone as if it were my own personal moonlight. There were late afternoons when I nestled in your arms in a quiet park, the wind blowing through my hair, and you just held me tighter and whispered, you know, if things get tough later, I still want you to be the one by my side. One evening you took me for a walk across the bridge, where the city at night shone brightly with lights. I reached out to catch the wind, but you gently held my hand and said, don't catch the wind anymore because I'm here. I laughed, and the wind seemed to stop, understanding the heart. I remember the time you took me to the flower market, even though there was no special occasion. You picked a bouquet of sunflowers and said, I see you like this flower, always looking toward the sun, even when it's raining inside. I didn't answer, just looked at you, as if my heart had just bloomed a flower. Once when I was sick, you came without warning. Opening the door, there you were with a bowl of hot porridge and a gentle scolding. Why didn't you tell me? If you disappeared, who would hold me to sleep? I laughed through the fever, feeling warmer than any medicine. And the times I was tired from work, just one message, come out with me. I went out, not caring where. You took me to a familiar place, an empty lot at the end of the street, where we once lay on our backs looking at the sky, counting stars, chatting. You said, I don't have much, but if you need a place to breathe, this is always for you. And I truly believe it. I believe with all I have. I believe that even though you're not ready to name it yet, one day I will be the only one you choose. And then I realized. Until one day, I realized his eyes were no longer for me. He started replying to messages slowly, no longer asking if I had gotten off work. He quietly put his phone away when sitting next to me, no longer showing me the screen like before. I asked, are you tired? He replied, no, just busy. And then, the person he once said was just a friend appeared more often in the messages he accidentally let me see. I stayed silent, because I was afraid if I spoke up, he would leave. But it turned out, he had already left before, only his body remained, while his heart no longer had a place for me. That night, I sat at the familiar bus stop, where he once held my hand tightly, saying, as long as you're here, I'm not afraid of anything. Now, at the same place, there is only me and the longing. I once thought, as long as you love enough, the person will stay. But no, people only stay if they love you as much as you love them. Now, I no longer hold any resentment. It's just, sometimes I still remember. I remember the times you placed your hand on mine without saying a word. I remember rainy afternoons when you hugged me from behind, whispering, don't go anywhere. Stay here with me. I remember the old songs we used to listen to, the unfinished movies, the dishes only you knew I liked. I no longer cry because of you, but I still dream of you. And when I wake up, I know I once loved, truly. If one day, by chance, you pass by a piece of music, a familiar cafe, a figure that looks like me. Just remember, there was someone who loved you so much that she forgot to love herself. And if given the choice again, I would still love you. But this time, I will love myself a little more. Thank you for listening until the end. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to hear more love stories.